Tammy Gibbs. I'm Tammy. I've had a request in the beginner videos, which really they'll be helpful to anybody, but I'm going to take it a little bit slower and add in some steps that if I were just working on a prompting workshop, I probably wouldn't go through. But the request was I actually had two different folks in my group that asked for two different things. They asked for a how to go all the way through creating an Etsy clip art pack with my process. That will entail using Artistly and Canva. And so I'm going to do that. And then I also had a request about how to download and get the 300 DPI that you need for clip art. So I'm going to cover all of those things and we're going to jump right in. Okay, so we're at our beginning of Artistly, and I am going to choose the Fast AI Designer because that's what we're going to be working with. And then I'm going to go over to my Prompt Keeper, which I have it opened in another tab. And I've decided I'm going to make a pack of little owls. I'm probably going to do maybe 12 images or something like that. Depends on how good they're looking. Okay, so what I do from the Prompt Keeper, and if you're not familiar with my Prompt Keeper, I do have it listed in Etsy. And so I have this as a Canva document that I can pull up. It's just an easy way because then I can copy and paste into it. And basically, this is what it looks like. And then it gives you these spaces that you can drag and drop your image and you can copy and paste your prompts. Now, Artistly has gotten much better about being able to access now, even in advanced, you can access your prompts. So it's not something you necessarily have to do right away, but I really encourage anybody using any AI software that if it is a prompt that you are really attached to and you think you might want to use it or use it as a base and create from it, that you should save your prompts. And that means copying them along with a sample image and putting them in something similar to this, whether it's mine or one that you make. Anyway, because you don't know what's going to happen with those platforms, and sometimes those images and prompts may be unavailable to you. But anyway, so that's how I'm going to do it. So what we're going to do is this is normally what I would do if I'm going to start in my Prompt Keeper, finding a prompt I want to work with that day. So, and I've just done so many until I have so many things right now that I can go back and start with basic prompts. That's another good thing about keeping it in a place where it's really easy to access is you can just kind of flip through the pages and pick out what you want to work with. But that's one of the benefits of that is that you don't have to stare at that empty screen. And, if your brain's not really into it being super creative that day, you can jump in, find one of your old prompts, and then you can take one of my playbooks and then enhance it from there. And you don't have to be in a super creative mood that day to start coming out with some super creative images. We all get kind of tired of just from scratch coming up with the prompts. But anyway, so I've got it highlighted here, and then I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to go back into our image designer and I'm going to poke it right there. Okay, so we've got a very basic image thing here. I'll generate the image so you can see what that looks like. So this is what our little basic image, which is really cute. That one's cute as well. And that would make like an entirely different, I could do a pack from that, but I'm not. I'm going to enhance it. And we're going to get and do a pack that's more similar to this one here, this style. And I'm going to show you what I did. Now, first, what I'm going to do, I have some images here and they'll need to later be put into the folder. But just to make it easier for me to find these, I'm going to create a new owl pack. And then I can create a folder here that I keep just these images in. I've kind of converted to doing it that way because it's a little bit easier. And now that Artistly has fixed this whole thing, whenever I create, I'm going to go in, and this is one that I've gone ahead and done. So I'm going to show you what I did, but I went ahead and did it just for the sake of time. So in here, I can go and I can search new um, Alpac. And I can select that. And now that Artistly has fixed this for us, when you start doing your pack, go ahead and select your folder and you will not have to move images into it. You can create right within that folder, and it is a huge time saver. And as all of you know, the quicker we can do our packs, then the more money we will make, is because it makes our production so much faster. So anyway, so we can select a quantity and we can do that too. But first I want to show you what I did. This particular one, I added something from my volume 2 playbook, and I went in, I wanted it to have a little storybook, classic, vintage aesthetic. So I found this particular phrase or whatever here. I copied it, and then I went back in and I pasted it right here. I already did it, but I'm going to do it again just so you see the whole thing. So I pasted it there. Now what I'm going to do, you're going to notice that we don't have to also, which also the developers at Artistly have made this so much better for our workflow too. Now we do not have to um, make our images private. That saves me so much time, and it will save you time too. So you select your visibility, and you can still, if you want something to go into the public, sector or whatever, you can do that, but it already is on private as a default. And that saves so much time to making each of the images private. So now we've got that taken care of. We've kind of got our little housekeeping. I design the majority of my clip art images in this 1024 by 1024. You can drop down and you have other options here. And I do, if I'm doing something floral or I'm doing a person and it keeps cutting things off, a lot of times I'll bump it up and make the shape a little different to get more surface space, because Artistly just for some reason recognizes that, and they'll sometimes do a better job with the image that way. So you can play around with that. But for the majority of the images, I choose the 1:1 aspect ratio. Okay. So, and that's just what I've been doing from the beginning. So this one is fine for that. Now we're going to click generate image. You notice I didn't do any of the other little things, which you can do if you want to do later. I'm going to go while that one's doing, and I'm going to go back in because originally I didn't have that folder done. So now I'm going to move this image, since that'll be 2 we already have done. And I'm going to go to the Alpac, and it's going to move this image into my folder, and then I won't have to worry with the folder while we're creating the images. So we have 2 images down. And then we just got this one. Isn't that cute? Super cute. Okay. I could keep changing it and adding more things from my playbook. And most of my images now have they have my own thoughts. They have possibly a prompt that I've created in the past. And they'll have multiple different, as far as color and different things like that from my playbooks. Sorry. Goodness, it's a little early here and I'm apparently still a little bit tired. But anyway, so isn't it cute, cute, cute? It does have that little vintage look to it. Not a lot, but just a little bit. And this, because it says to put a polka dot background, it has that polka dot background. But we're going to remove that anyway, so we're not going to worry with changing any of that. But anyway, so all that is done. And we have 2 images out of our, what did I say, 12 that we're going to do. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click regenerate. We're going to go over here, select 4. Now, if you do not have this option, you probably purchased the $49 or $48 or however much it is, that one, and you may not have that option. You may have to do it manually. This just saves a lot of time. Now, often you'll get 4 great images and you should just move on. But sometimes you may get sort of something that's an outlier. Like this one to me is an outlier. I would put that one in a different package, but it doesn't really match with my theme. So anyway, we're going to probably just use these three out of that one. So that puts us at 5 images now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we have to do. We can go back in and we're just gonna click one of these. Go back to our original image. It doesn't really matter. It has the same prompt, but we'll just do it. We're going to select 4 again. And if you have the 4, then you can really do a 12-piece clip art pack very quickly. So this one I probably will save for something else just because it's got the pretty pattern and the background may not come off really good on that one. So, um, and most of the time, I'm going to do it even quicker by going through Pixel Cut. But since a lot of you that are just getting started out may not feel the need or may need to do things manually to save money, when you can, upgrading to a Pixel Cut or something like that that does a really good job with backgrounds and upscaling um, in bulk will save you also a lot of time. This one right here, in Artistly, if you get one that's dragging like this, you can just go in and either just regenerate from that one and then don't let it just sit there. Okay, so it actually went ahead and populated whenever we did the other one. So now we have one more, and then we're going to count them up and see how many we have. And now typically what I would do, and I'm not going to do it with this one because we're doing it trying to get through a video and do it, me not getting bogged down. But normally what I would do is I probably would add something to it. So I would go into regenerate and I might have some variety. So I might say sitting on a tree limb or sitting on a stump or sitting on the top of a barn or holding a flower, so that I would have a little variety in that pack. But since we're just trying to basically do it to get our pack and show you the process, I'm not going to do all that. You'll have plenty of creativity when you start doing your first pack or doing your next pack using these techniques. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we have 10. We need 2 more images. I'm just going to go ahead and do 4 more. And we may make a pack of 14 just because if they all turn out. Oh, I like that one because he's a little different. I didn't ask for it, but he actually came up sitting on one. So he's definitely one that we would use. Okay, so that gives us 12. Let's see what the other 2 images are going to look like. And then we're going to move on to our next step. Not. Let's see. Let's just go with what we've got. And I'm just going to go in here and to keep everything from bogging my Artistly down, I'm just going to remove that design. Doesn't happen a lot, but obviously. Okay, here's the other one that came up. So we did have one. I just was impatient, but that one's a little different, so we'll probably use it too. Now, let's come to how do we download these? Okay, there's 2 different ways on Artistly now, thanks to the developers at Artistly who listened to what our group was constantly sending feedback. So a lot of these changes were things that we asked for and that they listened to us. Thank you so much to Paul, Sid, and Yash, and all the other people on the team that listened to us and got us what we needed. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You can actually download from this little arrow here individually. We could do it that way, but now we also have a bulk download feature that's going to activate this little box here. We're going to go through and you can do 15 at a time. We're trying to get them to up it where we can do a few more down, in one download. But for now we can do up to 15, and then you have to kind of go in and I find that I have to refresh the page and then select download again, and then it doesn't automatically undo the boxes, which I have to talk to the guys about maybe correcting that. I think it's just something they didn't realize was happening. So here's 8 of our, well, we weren't going to do that one. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that's 12. I think we're going to go with those. I think those are the best choices. Okay. So now we have this download selected. We're going to click and we're going to say, yes, we want to download those. And we have 12 images. So it's going to download those and put them in a little zip folder. Okay. All right. And I'm going to go back in because it makes it easier for me. And let me just get up here. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is this zip folder. I'm going to rename it because it just makes organization so much easier. So I'm going to put Owl Clipart Pack. Okay. And then I'm going to extract all. Yours may be different on your computer, but I'm going to extract all those. And then now we have our clip art in a cute little folder here. Okay. Now we're going to jump into Canva. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go over to my brand templates. Now, I don't have a brand template for the beginning stage of this, but later on, as we move forward into preparing it for listing on Etsy, then, and that'll be a different, another video. But anyway, we will go into my brand template for my clip art pack. Now, I changed this around, but I just kind of start with a blank slate, but I have all of this because the ones I've been using lately, I like to start from this base. I have different ones, and a lot of times I just change it up right from the thing, right from the start. Okay, so we're going to start with this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name, and you should come up with a template like this, create your own, then save it as a brand template so that you can pull it up and it won't change it. It'll just make a fresh one each time. It saves tons of time. So I want to name this something really cute. Storybook Owls. Or vintage, let's see. What's a good name? What's a good name? What's a good name? Let's see. Let's go into Chat GPT and ask it about some suggestions just because it's really early in the morning and I don't know. Okay, so I am creating a clip art pack of owls. Please look at the image and give me some suggestions on pack names. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to upload one image from here. Let's see, what's a good one that represents the whole thing? Let's see, I think probably this one, maybe. Yes, that's a good one. Okay. All right. So now we're going to see some ideas to speed things along. All of them aren't perching, so Those are some really cute. Let's see, vintage storybook house. And this is a way also to get ideas on different packs that you might want to do. Let's do Feather Friends. Let's see. Let's do Night Watcher Owls. No, let's see. Soft Woodland Owls. Okay. All right. I would probably change that 100 times because, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back because somehow I erased my. So we're going to paste into here so that we get our same font. Paste Soft Woodland Owls. All right. And then we're going to size it down. We're going to do away with this for this particular one and just pull my little logo up. Okay, we're going to leave this here for now, and then as we start doing things, we'll do that. Now, next step's really important because if you go and you can upload to here into this general folder, but then it's going to be really hard to find what you're looking for. So normally what I do when I start my clip art pack, and this right here is where it all starts. This is the clip art that I'll be then uploading to Dropbox for people to access. So this is the product thing right here, the product file or whatever inside Canva. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to, first we're going to go to projects, then we're going to go to folders, and then we're going to go to create folder, and we're going to name it the same thing. Let's see, what, well, I, most of the time when you still have it, you can just paste it in here, Soft Woodland Owls. Okay, and that's going to be the name of our folder. So now we have Soft Woodland Owls. We're going to open that folder. We're going to go upload folder. We're going to go back into my downloads. We're going to select this pack and we're going to upload it. So now it's inside this project file. And so it'll make it really easy to go back and access and not have to hunt through all of the images you've downloaded and go through your main feed of images. It's just so much simpler if you can do that. Okay. So now we need to, okay, there we go. We're going to open it up and there they are. So now we're going to go to here. Okay. I'm going to go here. Going to open it up and we're going to drag our first image here. Well, as you notice, it has a background. So now I'm working in Pro, so I don't know if these features are available for you if you don't have Canva Pro. Canva Pro is something I would not get rid of. It's a well spent, however much money it is every month for all the stuff we can do. So we're going to click for it to remove the background. And like I said, normally I don't do this manually anymore, but you can do it. And, you know, when you're, I don't know why it keeps. Why. For some reason, it keeps taking me out of my folders that I need to be in. Let's see. And I don't know why. Okay. So, um, not sure why. But anyway, we're going to go to the next one and we're going to remove the background. That's a little annoying though. Okay. We're going to the next one. We don't want to upscale anything. It really shouldn't be doing that. I think that's just it's my aggravation this morning for it should just stay open. Okay, there. Now we've got it staying open. Okay. I don't know why it was being ornery. So we're just going through and removing those backgrounds. You just have to be careful to kind of pay attention because if you don't, you'll end up removing backgrounds and have the same image repeated. And this one doesn't have enough in it to kind of, I usually scroll down so that I'm not doing each one of the images multiple times. But you can see you can do this. This is exactly how I did it when I got started, before I started making bulk packs so many at a time. I did each image individually, just like this. They did make it easier because now it does it right on the screen, and it used to take you to another little window that you had to get out of. So, but you just click the background remover. Okay. And here's our last one. Now, you notice we have 13 pages because we also have our cover image on there. Okay. All right. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take these images and select which ones I want to. I'm going to copy this one. And now, normally what I would do when I upload these, they're normally already have their backgrounds removed and they already have been upscaled. So this is a little different than my norm, but I'm just going to walk you through it because this is the way you would do it if you don't have those other tools. So anyway, so we can take and we'll have to kind of copy them. So we're going to take him and put him here. Okay. And then we're just going to grab another one. We don't necessarily have to use all of them. It just depends on our space that we have. And then this is my philosophy about when you're doing your images for um, when you're doing your images for your cover, you want to treat it just like a work of art, just like you were designing an invitation or something like that. Make sure that how you arrange your product on that cover image is just as attractive as your individual images or whatever, because that's what is going to sell people on it. This is what people see first. It's going to determine whether they even click into your link. So you really want to make it look attractive as you can, as attractive as you can. I think it's not going to be. Let's choose something else for a background. Let's go to we're going to go to the elements. Okay, so we're going to go to our elements here. And then we're going to find, now, you're not going to be selling this particular image, but you may include the pack. So my advice is only use something that you have made or something that is a free on Canva. So I'm going to go to parchment. I use this a lot with some of the outdoorsy things because it's a really neat background. Okay, parchment background. Okay, you'll see that it came up photos, and we're going to go to free. You can do graphics too, but I just wanted to see what was available under here. Okay, so here's one that's free, and I've used this one before, so we're going to lay it behind our pack, and having a little distortion there's not a big deal at all. I'll try to get as much of that little blue splotch out of there because that. Okay, so we're going to now position that to the back. and then we're going to remove the white. Okay, so now we have it. And this is also when you're doing and you're not doing behind white, you're going to see anything. Now this is it's supposed to be this way. But if it didn't do a really good background removal, that would allow you to see whether or not it looks good or whatever. Now we're going to change our disk here. And hang on just a second. I've got to go and plug my computer up, and it may take me a second. Okay. We'll be back creating in just a second. Still having some back problems, and had to relocate my computer and get it plugged up here. Alrighty. I don't want it to completely shut off on us. Yeah, we're new business. Okay, so the next step that we want to do is change the color of our disc here. And the reason I recommend that we're going to change the color of this because I would rather go in and do maybe a dark brown or black. I think we'll just go with black. So it shows up really, so it shows up really good. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to choose what color we want to use here. And as you see, it pulls in different shades from here. So let's go with maybe, we don't want that one. That's too dark. Let's go with, that's too dark. Let's go with something lighter. I don't know. Let's see. Let's just see all. Don't like that. I think we'll just go with something like that. That way it's you can see it, but it doesn't stand out too against it too bad. Okay. So now we're going to go back in and find us some more owls. This one's a cute one. They're actually all cute, but I don't think we've done him yet. He's got a little, we're going to put him since he's got a, I think what we're going to do is we're going to balance out. I'm going to move this over here instead of over on that side, and we'll put it right here. And move it to the back. Oops. Let's get it kind of sized back in. And now a very important thing, go ahead and change from one to the other. And we're going to change this writing to black. There's not really a lot of green in there, so we'll just do that like that. Okay. You know what? I think we might do this in a black, the circle. Somehow we need to move that way to the back. Okay. Let's see. Let's change this and see what it looks like just to do it. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Then we'll go back in, change this to white. And, or maybe like this color. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I think we'll just do it that way. Okay, so we're going to select this here. We're going to group them, and then we're going to drag it down. Whoops, it didn't group properly. Okay, now let's take that group it. Well, this morning it's not wanting to do just right. Okay. There we go. Okay. I just wanted to kind of move that down a little bit. We're going to take this and make this a little bit bigger. There we go. That looks so much better. And then we're going to move this little guy here. And we have to move this over here. And then this one here, we're going to put down here. And let me show you a trick and you can use this even when you're using Clipart and stuff. If you see that you want it to, you can flip it and use it like this. And we're just going to put him kind of like this and make him a little bit bigger so it looks like he's coming in the corner there. Okay, and then this guy we're going to kind of put like right there. And then we're going to find a couple others, maybe one big one and another couple little ones. Let's see. He's cute. He's cute. Oh, they're all so cute. Oh, I like this color. Let's pull him in. As you notice, I do things where they are very, I guess artistic. I try to make each little thing just kind of where they catch the eye. Okay, so let's do a couple more. We have one just like him. Or actually, that may be him. Nope. He's a little different color too. So we want to show the variety. So I think this is really good. We're going to take this now. We're going to move it. Going to move that a little bit bigger too. And I think we're done with that. So that's my process for that. Okay. And it's not really that important that these haven't been upscaled or anything like that. Now I'm going to show you how you can upscale these. We're going to start at the beginning. We're going to go to edit. And then if you scroll down to apps, you're going to find an image upscaler. And it allows you to do 2x, 4x. Normally, it already says it's a high resolution. It's really not. It's kind of a small image, and it only comes out about 96 dpi, so we definitely want to upscale it. So we'll just do the 8x. And this is going to take a little bit of time, but it will do it. And you can get by without making that purchase. Now, another optional thing is you can actually go into Pixel Cut, and I'm going to show you how to do that too because I think it may be a little bit faster. No, it's not going to be faster. You could do that, but you have to do them one at a time. But if you have a problem with the upscale and you don't like it, then you can manually, for free, on Pixel Cut, you can do one at a time. Okay, so we're going to replace him with the upscaled version. Like I said, that takes a little bit of time, so it's been successfully done up. Now, what I'm going to show you the difference of is I've decided I'm going to go into Pixel Cut and just show you the difference of how much quicker you can do it. Okay, so we've already removed, well, this is the background, how quickly you can do that. I can batch edit those, and I can take all of these, and I'm going to show you how fast it'll do it. I think it'll be worth you seeing so that you can see where you want to invest your money if you see that that's just too much. So this is removing all the backgrounds, and it does a super good job too, even with a lot of little details. I very rarely have to do away with an image. So see, it did all of those backgrounds, and see, that would have saved us tons of time. Normally, this is my process whenever I do this. Um, I go in, I'll rename it, and I'll say Owl Clipart Pack, and I will say background removed. And then I know that that one is where the background's been removed. I have to extract those. Then I can go back. Yes, I want to close this. I'll go down to the upscaler now. It's set at 4x, and then I'll go to the batch upscale. I'm going to go into the new folder with the background removed. I'm going to select all of them, and then I'm going to see how quickly it's upscaling 4x. Okay, then we just download all of them. Mhm. And we're going to go back here. We're going to refresh. Then I'm going to name it Owl Clip Art. And sorry about that. I hit the wrong thing. And then I'll do upscale. So that way I know when I go back in. So extract it. And you see that how long it took me just to remove the backgrounds with our pack. And now we're going to go into, so this is showing you the difference. I'm not going to go any further with these. In fact, I'm going to actually go in and show you how much quicker it is by deleting all of these pages. Guys, it's a cute pack, and I probably will actually list this pack. So anyway, we're going to go back to the projects again. We're going to go into our folder. We're going to upload now the upscaled folder that we just did, this one. And I'm just going to show you how much faster I'm able to do that by having that bulk upscale and bulk background remover. Now remove your backgrounds first and then upscale them, because you're not, that way you're not upscaling the background too and making your files so large. So it's uploading this, and then I'm going to go ahead and add these pages. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'm a multitasker, so if I can find something else I can be doing, I don't sit there while things are doing, like this one's uploading those files. But you're going to see how much faster it is to pull those in now, and we just drag and drop. Just drag and drop. And then when we do that using the pixel cut tool, where all of them are already ready, then it saves so much time with this once we get to this step. We just drag and drop them, and we know that they are finished, that we don't have to. Now, what I do is I do notice if there's any, anything wrong with them. Usually you can see um, problem, if you need to correct something. If you size it, if it's not sized right, you have to do the handlebars and size it. But for most of these, if they're created in the same shape and everything, they usually will fit right on there. You just drag them onto your page, and it sort of fills it up the size it needs to be. Sorry. Okay, we have 2 more to do, and this is me being slow. Some stuff going. All right, So they're all done now. Okay, so now all of our owls are upscaled. I've showed you how you can upscale and how you can background remove if you don't have pixel cut, and how you can do it if you do have pixel cut, and what a difference it makes. So we have our cover now. My next step from this would be I would download and select just my cover because I use it with my other process getting, this is not, I'm going to end this before you see the rest of how I get my packet together and, where I create my video. And I tell you what, let's just do it. Let's just go right through it, and you guys can just take your time watching it, and I'll show you all the way up to, I will not list it, but I'll show you how I create my pack to get it ready to list. So we'll just do that for you guys. Okay, so the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cover. So I unselected all the rest of the pages. I'm only downloading my cover because I'm going to be working with it. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm going to go up here and rename this to our soft woodland owls. Okay. And a lot of times, unless you do it just right, I always refresh this page because that sets my title up here, and then it will name my files correctly when I go to download them. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to leave this open. I'm going to close out of my prompt. I'm not using that anymore, so I'm just going to go over here and use that rather than open another tab. We're going to go to my brand templates again. That is a key with making things go faster. I'm going to pull up, this is my thumbnail template, and this is what I have to do to be part of my Etsy listing. So now, this particular item is actually included in my listing pack that's available on Etsy. So this is on there, and then the video and the idea guide, so that we're going to be doing. So this is the process. So anyway, this is actually a little grid. It is from the free Canva Elements. I had to change the color. You won't find it like this. I believe it's a black, if you're just doing it on your own. I use this as my grid, and it is actually, if you go and look, it is a little transparent. I don't want it to cover up my image that much. I just want it to be a little very dainty kind of thing. So this is what we're going to do, and this is why it's so important that we did that in a folder. We can go over here to projects now, to folders, and we can pull up all of our images again. And we're going to do the upscaled ones. We actually could do either, as long as you haven't made amendments to them, like you haven't had to erase something, then you can just do it from here. I'm going to drag all of my images into these pre-done frames that put it in the way I want it to look in my listing, so that people see what pieces of art are being included in their pack. And so this is how I would do this. And it varies, in as far as how many pages. So this one already has about 8 pages of these grids that comes in if you buy the listing packet from my Etsy store. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag those off. And then what I'm going to do is just to make it where I'm not saving something that's bigger than, you don't have to erase those or delete those pages. Now what I'm going to do is, since I have some blank space here, I'm going to go over and open this up, grab my little logo writing here, and I'm just going to paste it here and make it bigger. And then we're going to put that there, and that's a little extra advertising for the store. Okay. Now this step is I'm going to download this. I'm going to not download the purple piece, so I'm going to download these. Oh, sorry. This is where we want to go in and change this to soft woodland owls, so that it's named correctly when we have it in our download folder. Okay, so we're going to refresh, And it still has the title there, so we're good. Now we're going to go in here and do this. Sorry, sometimes I do it so quickly until I don't really. And you don't have to change any settings. These settings are fine for the thumbnails. And we're going to let it download. And we have to have it download because our next steps depend on it. Okay, while it's doing that, I'm going to show you go to File, make a copy. Okay, so made a copy of this file, so we'll do 2 of these because now we need to do one with watermarks. Now that one that we just did, we're going to use it in our idea guide because that is something people can print off and then they can refer back to see what clip art, pick out which clip art pieces they want to then find in that clip art, to look up that folder on their computers and which art they want to work with. So you don't want your watermark on that because they've already purchased at that point your art, so what's the purpose? So we want that to be clean and clear. So we're going to just do open file here so that we can extract from that. So that gets it ready to use. Click out of that. Okay. So now we're going to remove this and I'm going to add watermark on the front of this file. I'm going to refresh it again so that it locks in my title change. There it did. And then now what we're going to have to do is watermark our images. So we're going to copy this little beehive grid and place it over. I'm going to scroll up so you can see it's just a very light that goes over your thing. Okay. So now we're going to paste it over this one and then we're done. We're going to go over here again and download. Remove the purple. All right, and then it's going to download the watermark version. And then that's ready to upload as some of our images they allow us on Etsy so that people can see exactly which clip arts come with that pack. So while it's doing that, I'm going to actually go into this new tab, go over here to my Canva, go back into the brand templates, and now I'm going to do the idea guide. Use this template. Got the watermark marked. I'm going to go back in while I'm thinking about it. Upload. Okay. This one right here hasn't been unlocked yet or extracted yet, so we're going to extract it. And you see my multitasking here. Okay. So now we've done both of these, so we can close these tabs, the watermarked and the unwatermarked. Okay, and now we're inside of our idea guide. Now this is my delivery vehicle. This is where I put my links, where I have I'm going to walk through it, my thank you, where I have my links, I have my terms for my license, how the clip art was created, and then like right here, we're going to change this to soft woodland owls. Okay, there's 2 places I have inside my idea book. Now, the one I did, it's changed a little, the layout and of course the writing and stuff, but you have essentially in your pack, if you buy that listing template that I have on Etsy, you're going to get a very similar look with the frames and stuff that you fill in so that you can create one of these. And this is inspiration. It's just something I wrote about how to do that. And then we're going to go right here. We're going to drag this off. We're going to paste it because I just copied it there and we don't have to retype that off. We're going to slide down to where our images are here. We're going to go over to projects again. You see how important having this folder is. We're going to go into these images. Now, again, if you, actually, no, that's not what we're going to do. Sorry. We do go into the folder, we do go into the softwood lanals. Now we have to upload our folder that we just created. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. We're going to choose the one that's not watermarked. We're going to upload that folder into our other folder with our clip art. So all of it stays together and it's actually already organized for you rather than having to reorganize it from your main feed of, if you had just downloaded it into your download folder. Okay, so now we have our images. We're just going to drag them right there. They just merge right into those files. Okay, we're going to delete the pages we don't need that we don't want our buyer to get. Then we're going to roll back up to these display images here. Now on yours, you do not have these individual things here. You have spaces where you can go in, and these two pages are where you'll do any of your mock-ups that you want to show displaying your images on products that people can use them for. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open up our Alpac here. And we're just going to select some cute ones to drag into these spaces. I'll just start sort of dragging and picking out which ones I want where. And this one we have to go in and fit it because it didn't fit our little image right. And we have one more. Let's see. Let's do him. Okay. Then I have some t-shirts, so we can take this one and this one and this one. So now we have all those done. So now everything is done except our link. So now this one, because I already have a link in here, I'm going to have to remove this. You have to be very careful that you don't get your links all messed up. So, and you may have to remove it twice, like around the boxed part and around the other, but we want to remove those so that you see how when you click on the box, you've still got a thing, so you've got to remove that too. Okay, now let's see if it did right. Yep. Okay, so all of the link is done. Or you can just be positive and drag this off and then um, recreate it, just rewrite it or whatever. But anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back over. This is our clip art pack. So what we want to do is now we're going to download it. I have so many people ask me and say that you can't get 300 DPI out of Canva, but you actually can. It's going to increase the size of your image, but that's okay because that just means people can use it on larger items. So it doesn't bother me, and I've been selling clip art for over a year, and nobody has had a complaint about it. So this is how I do it, just to keep from having to go out to another software and changing the DPI and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to show you that it does work. But anyway, so we're going to go to download. Now this, you have to follow this exactly this way. Right now it's at 2500 by 2500. For our download, it's going to increase it to 7813 by 7813 pixels. Drag that all the way over here. Then you're going to click compress. I know it says lower quality, but trust me, it's not going to be lower quality. And transparent background. Okay, so now we don't really want our cover necessarily because they have their idea guide that has their images in it, so we don't need this little cover picture. So we're not going to be, adding that. So we're going to do done and download. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Dropbox, is where I store mine for people to, to buy. They are sent the idea guide, and then the idea guide has the link to Dropbox. Okay, so we're going to click in here. I'm going to create a new folder and name it Soft Woodland Owls. Clipart. Okay, so we're going to create that folder. And see, this is how you make it flow. You don't sit there and wait on things, programs to do what they've got to do. You just go ahead and do it. Okay, so now we'll be uploading those files, and let's go back into here. And I need to change this too before I soft woodland owls Clipart idea guide. Let's save that. Okay, before we forget. And then we also need to upload, go back to our projects and our folders. Go into here. I accidentally went out of it. Now we're going to upload our cover image, but we want to keep it right there where we can access it. All right. And then we're just going to drag that right there and look how cute. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back over here into our file. We're going to update it. I don't think our pack has finished. Our pack hasn't finished yet. So let's go back into here. It's still working. It's about to be done. It does take it a little bit longer since it's doing 300 dpi and a larger file. It takes a little bit longer to download. But it's also saving you the whole process of downloading everything and then uploading it into another program and then fixing it and making it 300 dpi and then downloading it again. It eliminates all that. So waiting a few seconds for it to do is not a big deal. And I'm actually going to just open this file right from here and extract it so that it's ready for me to go into Dropbox. Okay, so I'm going into Dropbox. I'm going to upload files, not the folder. I'm going to scroll down and find our Clipart pack. And this didn't get, let's change the name on it because it left out the T. Okay, all right. So now we have this pack. We're going to open it. I'm going to select all of these images. And we're going to upload it to Dropbox. And then we're going to create our link and then take it back into our idea book. Okay. Okay, they've all uploaded, so I'm going to close out of that. Go to Share Folder. Go to the settings. You're going to want to select link for viewing because if you do link for editing, somebody's going to go in, they're going to ruin your file, and then everybody's going to be mad. So link for viewing, create link, and then copy link. Okay, the link's copied. We're going to go back into our idea guide. We're going to go to the page for links. We're going to select this, highlight, and click link, and then we're going to paste that in. Done, and you have to do done twice. Okay, so now that's in there, and when they get this delivered from Etsy, then they're going to go in and be able to access their clip art. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to download this. There's two steps that I do to create my thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is unselect all of this. I'm going to select the little cover image. I'm going to go down and I'm going to select the two mock-up pages. And I want to use those in the video, so I need those to be downloaded separately. I hope this is being helpful. I think it really will. If you're a beginner, then you should be able, step by step, to be able to see how you can, and then you can develop your own system, but this will give you a foundation that then you can adapt to your own needs. Okay, so I've already extracted that, so it'll be ready when I go take it into the next thing. The next thing we want to do is we have to share our PDF because that's going to be what we're going to upload to Etsy. So we select PDF standard. You cannot do PDF print or your links will not work. So do standard. And then you want all the pages and then download it. And then that's going to be what you're going to use to upload to Etsy. And then that step is done and it's ready to upload to Etsy. Okay, so that's done now as a PDF. Now what we're going to do is we don't need this opened any longer. So we're going to go to the brand elements again, or brand templates rather. We're going to select my clip art for my video, use brand template, and then we are going to go into projects folders, go to our thing. We're going to upload and find our folder we just did from the idea guide, and we're going to select all of those and put those in there. Okay, awesome. And then we're going to take and replace this. We're just going to drag our cover, which we previously uploaded into our main file. And then we're going to find our t-shirts and mug image. This one. I already have this inset, so it just stays there from, the template. And then we're going to drag this image in and replace it. And then I'm just going to show you what else is in here. We have the idea guide. We're going to drag it in. Okay. And then, like I have that there's a commercial license included, how the art was created, um, and then something saying that the listings for a digital product. Okay, so this is essentially done. So what we're going to do is we're going to download PNG, and it can be, it doesn't have to be very big, okay? And then we're going to do all the pages and we're going to do them as PNGs first because we're going to use those as part of our images. I normally use the little square versions of these images, the ones that have the mock-ups on them. If I have room, if it's like a smaller pack and I have extra, you get so many images, so I have extra images, then I upload those as examples. So I have them in the video, but I also have them in where they can scroll through the pictures. So that's what that is for. And I should have actually, I didn't, this is where you goof up, is not putting the, changing the, title. So I'm going to have to go make the effort and go in and this is why you really want to have it already typed in and the name changed just because then it'll be right when it's in your downloads and you can know what is in that folder. Okay. So you see it only did copy, so you don't know what that really is. So we have to rename it now. Soft Woodland Owls Clipart Video. Okay. So we do that, and then we're going to extract them while we're in here. Extract. Okay. So those will be ready for my Etsy upload. Okay. Now we've got to create our video, and we just do it right from here by selecting MP4 video and doing it like this, and then it's ready too. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to go into our folder that we did with the actual clip art images that we uploaded to Dropbox. So it shows that we have a live link and everything. And we can test it and make sure that it is the link for viewing. We see here that we do not have one created for editing, which is good. We don't want one. Okay, so we're going to close out of there and out of there and out of here. We're going to keep that open. Okay, we can go out of there now. And we can go out of there. Okay, so everything is done. what I want to do now is go in and show you that it is 300 DPI the way that we did it. So I'm going to find our actual clip art pack here. Do preview. Oh, no. We want to preview. Okay, so view large icons. Okay, so we're just going to select one of these images. I'm going to double click on it and open it up on my computer. And then I'm going to go over here to, I'm going to right click to the resize image. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. So we see that it is the 7813. That's not what I wanted to do. Hang on just a minute. I think it's over here. File info. I clicked the wrong thing, but anyway, we're going to see that it is 7813 by 7813, and it is 300 DPI. So there you've gotten 300 DPI out of Canva. So I hope this has really helped you guys and that you've enjoyed the video and it'll help you create your own packs and your listings for Etsy. I don't know when, but I'll try to eventually get around to doing where you actually, you know, do your listing on Etsy. But I'm not going to do that right now. I think that most people can figure that process out. There's a lot of things out there on that, but this does show you how you can go from Artistly all the way through Canva and get that whole pack, clip art pack ready to upload to Etsy. And that is my process. And if you're interested in the any of my things, my AI artist playbooks, I have 2 volumes now. One specifically for clip art. The other one is general and includes clip art. They're both selling very well, have become become bestseller. Lots of great 5-star reviews. People are loving it, and it's transforming their prompts. So that's really exciting to me. The prompt keeper, you saw that. If you're interested in that and just don't want to make your own, you can borrow mine. They're for sale on Etsy in my Etsy store as well as my idea guide, delivery system, and the watermark thing and the video, that little listing template that I have, that's on there as well. So anyway, I'll have links to all of that. If you haven't used Artistly or don't know much about it and you've been watching my videos and now you're ready to buy, obviously I have an affiliate link. It's down in the description, and I would really appreciate it if you would use the link. It does not cost you anything any more than what if you just randomly did a search on Google or something, but it does help me because it helps to make it where I can make these videos and spend the time that I spend trying to help you in your business. So anyway, everything's appreciated. And also, if you're not already a member of my group on Facebook, please, that information and link is inside the description as well. Go there, join the group. You'll love it. And it does allow me to help you in a bigger way, with more specific things. And it's an opportunity to send me, ideas on what kind of videos you need and all that sort of thing. So join the group. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.